Guys, welcome back to the EU Gears Spring Quarter Major. My name is Tone, and I am here with Through the Normal Duo reunited, as per usual, on your Monday nights. But some upsets already through. I was watching while, just getting a bit of lunch together while I could, and there's been some crazy games, to say the least.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, out of all the Pro League teams, did we expect Regal to be the first ones dropping into that loser bracket? Probably not, right? But there are some strong challenger teams in this tournament. To see some upsets here and there, not too surprising. Regal being the first, though, that was.
Yeah, I mean, Regal is the big surprise for me to drop on down. We will be seeing their game coming up very, very shortly. And honestly, it is a surprise for me to see them drop down. We knew that 3X were a good team when we seen the first game this morning. Did I think they would be good enough to beat Regal, though? I honestly didn't think they would be. I knew they'd challenge them. I thought it would be close games, but it really did catch me off guard to see them win that game. They've got to be somebody to watch now. Very tough game for them against Elevate, of course, in the winners bracket semi-finals, but we do have some loser bracket action to come first and foremost. This game coming up next is going to be seeing Regal Reserve in their losers bracket run. And they are actually going to be going up against, just to remind myself, they're going to be going up against Steady. Yes, that's right. So, interested to see what's going to happen here. Steady were another team that we talked about beforehand at the beginning of the show. They are not somebody to sort of be messed around with, do we believe, here through? I mean, Regal, still a Pro League team, but Steady, again, could be a good opposition for them.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not I'd say there's potential for Regal to be going out LBR round 1, I'm not sure I'd go that far just yet, but Steady as a team have been a team that's risen up through the ranks very, very quickly. They've only been a team for around 3 weeks now, so that's one thing we've got to consider, right, is that they are a very, very new team. They're still in that honeymoon phase where everyone's playing well and everyone's getting on well as well. On the other side of things as well, there's experience in that team. Precision as an example. He was in Team Cryptic. I don't know if you remember them, but if you go way back when to EGL Stamford Bridge back in London, they finished 3rd at that event. So they have been around for a long time, these players, and they know how to win, how to get into that top kind of echelon of the bracket. And against Regal, they will give them a game for sure. They've also got some kind of up-and-comers in Flash, who is, their front spawn player, who is one of the most reckless, best-to-watch players in the league right now, especially in the challenger side of things. So there is some talent on that team for sure, and I wouldn't underestimate them as well if I was Regal.
Yeah, definitely talent there. You know what else? That Stamford Bridge event, just an historic event in Gears EU history because it was my first Gears event. Imagine that. Wow, crazy times. Anyway, irrelevant of talking about myself. The picks and bans are ready to go. Steady against Regal Reserve coming up in a second. Let's have a look at them though. The ban coming in from Vazgar and Training Grounds. Bunker then coming in for Regal Reserve. And Steady will pick Exhibit. Asylum makes it through as the final one, as Icebound and District have been taken out. Any surprises there? I can't say I've seen Regal on Exhibit a great deal during the Pro League, so maybe that's a reason for that pick from Steady.
Yeah, they tend to dodge it, and I think they tend to kind of, apart from against Elevate, they ban it out early on. Otherwise, they just kind of leave it because no one else really picks it. Yeah. So I think that's a good pick there by Steady. I think that'll force a lot of good fights down in that bottom side of things. A 4v4 with the likes of Flash flying at you. Yeah, I can see why they've picked it, to be honest with you. I think that's a good pick for Steady. On the other side of things, Asylum coming in, that is Regal Reserve bread and butter right there.
Yeah.
Even not just this quarter, last quarter, they pick that pretty much every single series. They love that map. So I'm not surprised to see that in the cycle. Bunker, on the other hand, a little bit, to be honest with you. I attribute that one really to Rated R, to Obey Alliance. I don't really think of Regal as a Bunker team, but they've got something planned. They picked it first. They must be confident on it.
Yeah, I mean, that must be the case, I suppose. But, Bunker is one of those that we have seen time and time again in the Pro League. And it's one, if I remember rightly, Regal have lost a couple of times in the past few weeks. But honestly, it's very set up sort of orientated map. It's very much about the rotations as well, like trying to catch people off guard with the right extensions. So Regal Reserve, they do like to play that methodical kind of gears. So I suppose it fits that. Exhibit a little bit different, I suppose. It's a bit more about those close quarters fights. But Asylum, as you said, they're very much bread and butter Regal Reserve. I definitely like these maps for them. I'm interested to see how they do unfold when they're ready to get into the game. And see everybody chatting in our Discord, trying to get everything organized. I think we've had things very well organized so far. We've got games coming to you at all points, and we're ready to get into this one as well. For predictions for this one, for me, it's a bit more difficult because of the unknown quantity to a point for Steady. Obviously, they're very new. Maybe that honeymoon period is still trickling on through, but Regal Reserve will know they have to clutch up now. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Regal.
Yeah, I'd have to join you on that one, to be honest with you. I think the upset against Rowdy is a difficult one to kind of calculate, right, with the rest of the things going around. But at the end of the day, Regal have been pushing those top 2 Pro League teams right to the wire every single week. And for that, I have to go 2-0 as well.
It makes sense. Bunker, Exhibit, Asylum is the order we will see the maps. We may not need to see Asylum if this is a 2-0. Curious to how Regal Reserve picked back up, though. That's the thing. It's one of these situations. They've just lost a very close game against a non-Pro League team. Where are your heads at? That's the question. Going into a game here, they've got no more lives to lose. They must be perfect throughout the rest of the tournament if they want to take it. I was speaking to Jack through the week. He said nothing less than first will satisfy them. And they've got the longest route possible to do that. We're going to head over towards Bunker, where Regal Reserve try to get their tournament back on track.
There they are. Obey Demonic. That's a name we've not seen for a while, is it? He's not actually an Obey. He's Steady Demonic right now, but ex-Pro League experience here on this team as well in Steady, and finds that opening frag as well on Physics, so fantastic start for Steady here as they are looking to put the pressure on this B hill straight away. That's one thing with these challenger teams. You don't really get that kind of slow-paced, methodical start. It's always about the up A's, the kills, starting strong. But in the end, it sometimes leads to bad situations like this where you're letting Fractures start to make plays on you.
Trying to make plays, but he will be shut down. There's going to be Sting Cup getting a hold of B. That overextension trying to come on through for Steady. Not able to get there though. Regal Reserve able to battle that one off, but they will have to fight back for B here. So Steady are the ones to set themselves up and see what they can do. Try to hold against Regal Reserve. Flash has been locked down into the cover there as well. Not something we see actually too often in the Pro League, I'll be honest. Sting going to be putting shots into Jack Reaction as the push starts coming through from Regal.
That's it, isn't it? They're trying to make their way back round towards this B hill on the neutral side of things here. Pushing forward here, Precision having to back out. Stabisi as well. Sue Steers looking to defend this artillery section. Stabisi, so much experience from way back when, Gears 1 kind of player. Bringing it forward now, a decade later, to the Gears 5 competitions. And it looks like here with Mush as well getting a kill. Steady, they're not in a bad spot.
No, not in a bad spot whatsoever. They do have the lead and the win condition, but of course B will be exchanged hands, you would imagine. But they still have this one locked down. Demonic is here with Mush. 2-member push from Regals coming on through. They're going to have to start hurrying this one up, though. 140 and counting for Steady, but not getting points on that B side of things will help them out. Mush has somehow survived that. A lot of aggressive play coming out of Regal Reserve has only just forced them away. Precision is the only one to go down. Mush trying to answer back here and will be lanced away. And we will have to back on down as Regal Reserve just force their will, if anything, on them. And Jack Reaction is overextended over towards C as well, so the domination could tick on in. He will just decap that one and get the hell out of dodge. Not quite quick enough, though, as he does go down. But good aggression coming in here from Regal, and they will gain on Steady quite significantly here. And will very much be close to taking the lead.
Yeah, it's been a good middle of the round, hasn't it, for Regal? They have a good setup here, and even with Jack falling, they've still got a very, very good setup that they can rotate quickly around towards this B hill should they need it. Jack will come off spawn as well and go back to bunker side of things, so it will be a 4v4. The problem they're going to have here is for a few seconds, there is going to be that member of Steady up top lancering down on them, which is forcing Regal to back off. They're taking so much damage. And so Jack gets up there and forces him off. You see Demonic here, getting pushed off by Jack. It's going to be so difficult for Regal to hold on to this one, but they are doing just that. You can see the kills coming in here. Chris, I nearly called you Toby. I'm sorry about that one. As yeah, we do see Steady start to push their way through over towards this home hill. Mush just trying to get some points on the board for his team. Just be a nuisance.
Yeah, and it's a good spot to be in. Right now, it is a COG team win condition, but things are going to change hands now. C going into the hands of Regal Reserve as well as Demonic is taken down. The domination could have ticked in, but over towards C. It's an absolute ruckus. Mush is trying to do his best here, but if he goes down, that should be the round towards Regal Reserve. They have a hold of B. They have a hold of A. Steve will be able to find a kill at the end of the round, but it will not be enough. First round towards the Pro League team, Regal Reserve. That's a start they would have wanted, albeit maybe took a little bit longer than they would have liked.
Yeah, I think the initial put them on the back foot a little bit, didn't it? But it did. That was good resilience. I liked what I saw there. They came back into it very, very well. They've got some good map control, and they didn't let it, affect them too much. After a, a tough loss like that, coming in and being down in that first round, yeah, perhaps, you know, mentally that's not the best situation to be in, but to say they bounced back from it and had a very strong latter end of the round, that for me shows that Regal, they're not done yet. They want to continue this, you know, this tournament essentially and try and make that losers bracket run. We've seen these players on the old Lucent roster do that exact run before. They made it all the way to that top 2, so it's not out of the question, that's for sure.
Let's see if Zorkos and Co can extend this lead. Over towards B, can they get a better of them on the initial this time around? Zorkos is the only one here momentarily. A little bit slow to the races, a Regal reserve. Flash coming through from Steady was solid as well. Zorkos not landing quite enough that he would like to. Demonic and Co being aggressive. Regal gonna have to back on down. The priority for the hill belongs to Steady right now. They're in a good spot to do so. Zorkos though through the smoke will try and find something. Good shots coming in. Flash will go down. And the first blood coming in for Regal. Demonic's going to be caught jumping over the cover as well. This is a nice break for Regal, but I feel as if Steady maybe just hand them a little bit there. A couple of kills coming through that maybe could have been prevented.
Yeah, potentially so. I think that's one of the problems the challenge teams do face against the likes of a strong Pro League team, is that they don't know when to say no. This is probably not a good push. They just keep going. They just keep forcing plays. We saw it with Chid and Co in the academy side of things. They lost a couple of rounds because of that in the previous series, and that, for me, is that those are the difference between the Pro League and the Challenger teams at this level at the moment. Is just those couple of rounds here and there, those small mistakes. Sort that out. We've got a lot of good Challenger teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, the skill is very much there. Let's see if they can formulate it into something. It would be a good weekend to do so. 50 grand on the line. Flash right now is on 1 respawn, so keep an eye on that as we do delve further into this round and further into the half. Of course, we're only into round number 2, so he'll want to be trying to survive as much as he can here. Doesn't really want to lose any more. Got plenty of gears to be played in this round. Regal reserve in a good spot here as Demonic tries to push on through. Mush has one down as well, though. He will have to back down. Regal reserve happy to sit back on this 2-cap, it seems. They're getting a little bit aggressive as they knew they had Demonic weak. Cougars will take him down. But Regal reserve are very much a team who will not bite off more than they can chew.
Nope. No, they're definitely one of the more experienced teams in that regard. They've had to put up with Rated R flying at them for the past 12 weeks, haven't they? So they know exactly when to call it quits and back off and defend a little bit. And I think that's good training for anyone. I really do. Just slow down. We can see
just slowed it down.
Defensive lineup, isn't it? It's almost perfectly vertical down the map. And the moment that Steady starts to make the push, they're going to fall back to their next line of defense because they've got that point lead. They've got such a good lead that they don't need to force this fight for the neutral. They can just sit back, Lancer away, clean up the kills. Demonic's going to fall. Mush is going to fall as well, but Clutch comes in. I'm not sure they've got enough players in the right positions to make it to the hill, but it's a good ending fight here for Steady. It will go the way of Regal of the round, and that's textbook, that is. Just delay them, let them walk into your Lancer fire. We saw it with Elevate in the Pro League last week where they had a very good, strong Nasher setup, a close quarter setup, but they decided that, no, we're going to back out, we're going to play Lancers, we're going to go a little bit further back, don't let any cheap kills come out, and it worked again here for Regal Reserve.
Incense coming in for Regal. I expect the same to come out. Steady. Very solid so far from Regal Reserve. Haven't looked to falter at all, albeit the rounds have come down to having to get to 250 points. They haven't necessarily been uncomfortable. So here we go. Back into it once again. If Regal can extend to 3, that's a nice lead to have. It's always that third round I look towards. If somebody's a 2-0 lead, you really don't want to let that get to 3. It's a little bit further than you would like to have to fight back from. 2-1 though. Very respectable. Steady could do with getting a hold of this round. The initials though about to come in here towards B. 4 members of each team. Poised and waiting for the flashes to come through and then the push, but there we go. It's actually going to be an Inced coming in from Steady, and Zorkos will be sent to the respawn queue. Cougars can't land his to cover instead, and that is not really in a useful position to zone it all. We'll have to back on down the rest of his team to help out, but Steady will get hold of it. They have their home hill too, and they win that initial.
Very, very well played there by Steady. Good bait on the Incend as well from Precision. And we see now the good setup here. Who's going to push up as well? Just have a few teammates in tow, and they're going to try and make this push here to try and get this decap. You see them both trying to get through there. They do unlock that hill, so the B hill will go neutral once again, and Cougar's finding that kill on Stabizi. It'll help them as well as they now look to maybe get another kill, add to the tally. Precision missing that shot. Oh, that's going to be a pain for him, isn't it? If he'd have got that shot, potentially the 2v1 was on the cards.
Potentially was, yeah. Couldn't get anything going.
Interaction.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? He finds the give there, and suddenly the fight can be swung, but doesn't land the shot. Oh, Frack just came around behind him. It looks like he's being dealt with, if anything. Flash is going to find him and down Cougars as well. Big fight coming in here from Steady. Regal Reserve have been in control for the majority here, but Steady now will find a couple of kills in the middle. Physics drops 2 momentarily. There was only 2 members up for Regal Reserve, with everybody from Steady surviving, so they should be able to get a hold of B relatively simply here. There you go. They will lock this one in. Win condition belongs to them.
Settling down again, once again. And a bit of a table turning here, as we pretty much see the same setup here, and now Steady. They're going to be the ones backing off here a little bit, just trying to defend their home hill or bite. They don't have the same amount of points that Regal do. They haven't got the time to play with. They have to make the defense here, and Cougars just being such a nuisance. Will get down in the end. Flash with a good lance of fire coming in. One of those players that I called out. Currently sitting 8-3-5. Not the best scoreline I've ever seen Flash have, but not the worst either. He's a player I'd like to keep an eye on throughout the rest of the series for sure, as we do see Steady now with 25 seconds before they win this one. This is going to double up to 50 as well if the decap comes in. Incend goes down, and that's not a bad Incend. Just cut off that middle route.
Yeah, does enough. They just need to keep them off it to win this round, and 1 cap will do it as well for Steady. We'll jump up to 20 seconds or so, though. They need to make sure they do stay alive. There is time for Regal Reserve to make this push over towards C. We can see they're already getting that one in tow. Cougars. Oh, he could have done with finding that kill. Precision will find his. Steve will find another, as will Flash. And that should be the round locked in now. Nobody at home for Regal Reserve. And it just comes down to that 1 kill. If Cougars can make that, maybe it's on the cards, but really well held by Steady. They'll get the first round on the board.
Yep.
2-1 now.
So, and you said that third round, so crucial. You're definitely correct in that one. A 3-0 scoreline, so difficult to come back to, especially since we moved from 7 rounds to 5. It was a while back now, but we did do that. That third round becomes even more important, because 2 rounds is not difficult to claw 2 rounds against any team.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the 5 that count, but being over that halfway mark, especially before the half turns as well, that's a huge advantage. That Boltok going down, that's something we've not seen yet. Cougars getting that Boltok in hand. He's a dab hand with that one, isn't he? He's a bit of a sharpshooter.
Yeah. Very much accurate with it. Let's see what he can do with the Boltok. They're going to give everything to Cougars as well. Going to try and land his inside maybe a little bit better than he did last round. And that'll probably be what is going to open things up for Regal if they can do. Zokos is actually going to push up, and Cougars is there, ready and waiting. Pistol at his side. Nobody pushing just yet. Here comes the Incend from Demonic, and it's very solid because that's going to get rid of the Incend on the other side of things, as it will get rid of the Boltok. He then finds Zokos afterwards as well. That is perfect from Demonic. You couldn't ask for more, in all honesty.
No.
You could not ask for more.
Not at all. He's been very good, Caleb. He's one of the best players in Europe, and yeah, he's not on a pro league team right now, but he has been for multiple seasons now, quarters, and very strong player in his own right, and finding himself on another good team here in Steady. I'm surprised we've not heard more about him, pushing up. And this is a team that, against Regal, yes, they're against the wire, but they're still in it. Against Obey, this is another team that could push them right to the wire and potentially take that spot in that next quarter's qualifier. How nice would that be? Demonic knocking out his own team to take the spot.
Oh, that would be rough. That would be rough. Precision and Colo are keeping them off, yeah. Really good Lancer fire coming in. That's all they need to do. Don't need to go with these crazy engagements. We know that Regal, they like to play this methodical kind of gears, but right now they're going to have to maybe play a little bit faster. I haven't seen any overextends coming in whatsoever. I'm looking towards the map. It looks as if one may be coming in. We can see a fight going on over towards the top side of the bunker. We'll stay here for now, though, as Physics and Co trying to get a hold of B. Zorkos with the overextend. Keep an eye on that to see how far it can go. There's a fight going on over towards A. That might open things up. He will find the kill on the mush as well. So suddenly there's going to be less numbers here for Steady, but really good push coming in from Demonic. He needed to find something. Can he find a second as well? That's so good from Demonic. They will keep a hold of B, but only because of him. He's having a cracking round here, Fruit.
Yeah, so good. And he has that potential to be one of those standout players. Wasn't really given that opportunity on Obey, but now here on Steady. That's about his 15th kill of the round, and he's looking so good. A double incend, well, the incend and the give to start it off was, you know, just the start of things, wasn't it, really?
Yep.
As he's defending that hill like a madman. 13 seconds now. Steady in a very good spot to tie this up at the half.
They're in a really good spot. They're going to lose B, but they need to lose pretty much everything else here, and Demonic just keeps rolling. Physics is the next victim. He's played that so well that round. The incend, the gib at the beginning, and then he's held it off all on his own as the rest of his team go back and successfully defend there as well. 2-2 now.
Yep. Yeah, 2-2 indeed. And look at that scoreboard for a second. Demonic right at the top. 10 kills, 6 assists. Looking very strong 4 rounds into a game of escalation. Got to see what gets placed down, though. There's going to be a matching loadout option, perhaps. Looks like they're hovering it. It will indeed. Precision getting himself that Boltok, potentially that Talon, but most likely that Boltok. And on the other side of things, maybe an extra loadout coming in. Utility going down for Fractures, an extra flashbang to his name. Maybe even a smoke grenade. You could, you could add that extra smoke grenade in, you throw it at the other Boltok, shuts him down for the opener. There's a potential coming out of that one, but most likely going to be that flashbang.
Let's see then, as things do change round. There's a 2-0 lead for Regal Reserve, but they've, I don't want to say they've given it away. If anything, Steady have really earned it. They played very well. Winning the initials and then just controlling from there. Fractures though, 6 kills, 5 assists, 5 deaths. Not the best. He's had a bit of a topsy-turvy Pro League, in all honesty. We've seen brilliance from him. We've seen then very average plays from him as well.
I think this entire team, Regal as a whole, it's a team that, for me at least, back when they were on Gears 4 as this unit, was so impressive on LAN.
Yep.
Online, they were always a bit up and down. And I think we've seen that this quarter, to be honest with you. I think they've had some good games, some bad games. But on LAN, they were just the best team to watch because they were so energetic. They fed off each other. And they made some phenomenal plays. But back then, we saw the likes of Fractures getting that M-bar almost every single game. And it's not something that he gets in this, in this iteration of the franchise. And that, for me, is potentially a missed opportunity for Regal. Getting him on that M-bar. Same with Cougars as well. The 2 Spanish players on the roster, they're both so good with that weapon, and we don't see it that often anymore.
Big fight going on here. Demonic again is going to find 2. The rest of his team were there to help, but it's what's going to find Steady. Hold of E. They haven't been able to get much luck, well, have much luck, I should say, sorry, over towards E. But I think you're very right when you talk about Fractures. Those power weapons are where he really reigns supreme, but as you said, he hasn't really had much luck with them. Getting a hold of them so much throughout the Pro League. But maybe as time goes on, they start to give him a few more options. I think the thing is as well, though, Cougars every single time is so proficient with them. But right now, there's going to be an overextension coming out of Regal Reserve. F is what they are looking for, and they're going to push pretty much everybody forward. Cougars, I say he's good with those power weapons. Misses 2 shots with the Voltok, but the damage is done. Flash and Demonic are going to be taken down. Regal Reserve will get what they came for. They're probably going to go back over towards E as well, and if they can do it quickly, a domination could tick on through, but they have the lead. They have the win condition. They're going to lose D. As the overextension comes in on the other side from Steady as well. So back and forth here, nobody really securing much. Regal Reserve are going to get a hold of E. They're going to lose F and probably going to go back down to D. So Regal Reserve started this chain of events, if you like, and that is not, that's somebody on your team. That is great snap, wrong person.
Oh, dear me. I mean, yeah, it's a gib and a half, isn't it? But I don't know. That's some miscommunication right there. I don't know what's going on there, guys. Sort that one out. That's one of those things. If you're in a LAN situation, if this is a major and we were in venue, you'd be getting that death stare from down the line. Your teammate would not be happy with you.
No. It looked as if it probably was going to be a Regal Reserve round anyway, so we'll maybe not give C too much chip for that one. But Precision, unfortunately, will end the round in the respawn queue as that one does unfold Regal Reserve's way. First round of the second half. Regal Reserve, though, will be happy to get a round under their belts after losing 2 off the bounce. But But I wonder, anything different going to come in here? The only difference we've seen so far is Regal Reserve have taken more of a loadout option. This time round, they are going to go for something over towards Windmill. It probably will be a flash as well, I can imagine, as they do look to maybe build on something. But now, are Steady just going to go ahead and match? Or are they going to upgrade? They're going to upgrade. Oh, are they? I was going to say that would maybe be a bit...
They're hovering it, and they're thinking about it. Oh, do we go up? Do we go down?
I'm always game for it.
Second ball talk. That's where I'd go.
Should be the shock grenade. Shock is something, especially up towards bunker. It's great utilization. Of course, we don't usually get them early enough to see them over towards when it's B down low over towards artillery side, but up at E, it really can just cut off that one choke point and cut off down low if it needs to as well. So a useful weapon to have. Flash trying to push forward here is hilariously going to be flashed. 13 kills, 4 assists, 9 deaths from him. He said he would be a player that could stand out. For me, it's been bloody K Demonic. He's playing fantastically for his team. Right now, though, it's going to be Regal with that initial mush. That's a bit of a waste. It would have been nice and flashy if you managed to stick it through there, in all honesty, but it's going to maybe waste that incend. Maybe a nice little cut-off it does have, but Regal Reserve are the ones in control of E. They'll be happy with that. Don't care about a couple of little flames on the floor. Steady, now going to have to battle back.
Yep, that's it. And actually the battle, you know, they're pushing down towards this E and Stee. It's been a nuisance on this side of things, but at the same time, Steady, we're trying to make plays on both sides. And I like that. A lot of teams, they kind of get stuck into that, you know, we are a team, we must play as one mentality. But on escalation, you can quite easily make 2 different plays at, you know, 2 different sides. It just takes a lot of coordination, a lot of discussion between your team, and being able to facilitate that as a challenger team, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
I think, honestly, escalation is very much where do we place our resources. It's one of those, isn't it? It's like a war of attrition at all times. Sort of see where your enemy are, and if they're not in a place where they can defend something, you go there. Demonic is going to get dropped, though, as the push now comes in very aggressively from Flash. Steady should be able to get a hold of D here, of F, sorry, I should say. But D has been decapped. Mush is going to go down over towards that side as well. Regal Reserve will say, right, we can exchange home hills, not a problem. We have E. And we have the win condition of 50 seconds or so they should be able to close this one out.
Yep.
Can they hold on here, Fruit?
I mean, they have to, don't they? They want to put themselves back into the run of things for this whole major. They've got to start winning series, and to do that, the rounds are big. Precision does find himself down there, and now with that Boltok in hand, trying to find a kill here as he's against 2 players. Great movement from Precision. One of those things, you know, he was always known for his fantastic movement. Way back when on Gears 3 as well, it just was a phenomenal player, but just got taken out in the end, a 2v1 situation, especially on Gears 5, very, very difficult to take. Especially with that extended shot range now on that Nasher, the damage coming in is definitely significant when it's 2v1. 35 seconds on the clock here for Regal. And if you're Steady, you've got to start finding a bit of kills here, a flurry of kills. There's 1, there's 2. I told you Flash, he was flashy. That's what he's all about. He's in your face, he's aggressive. They've got 20 seconds to play with here. Incendiary's going to do nothing at all. And now Flash trying to find its next victim here. Pushes down, up A central.
Good shots. Cougars is somehow going to get it out. I would have liked to see Steady clean that one up. The domination about to tick on through, though, if Regal Reserve aren't careful. Still time here, and right now Regal are not getting anything on the board. The domination keeps ticking, but they still need to win this fight Steady. Flash is going to find 1 more. Mush is going to find 1. It's going to come down to a 1v1, and it is actually going to be Fractures to pick up the kills. Physics is there to hold on Steady as well. The elimination comes through for Regal Reserve. They would have won on points anyway, but they hold the defense. And they find all the kills. 4-2, but that was very, very close to being tied up.
So close. And you know what? Steady made 2 crucial mistakes in that fight. Mush, he just made a noob roll. Like that's one of those things that you just think, okay, well, that happened. Too bad. Got caught out on it, rolled into the ring. Very, very easy kill for Regal on him. But on the other side of things, Flash, when he had that down, he took his second shot and he thought about maybe coming in and you know, getting involved in the fight again. But instead, he used that shot to clean up the down instead of taking out the player that was next to him. In doing so, gets himself taken out. Is just trading 1 for 1 at that point. And he needs to be trying to find that 2v1 situation there, that 1v2. And he had the opportunity, missed it. His team get taken out in the end, and Steady now down 4 for 2 because of it. It's difficult, isn't it, for Steady? Because they looked like they were making all the right plays there, but we talked about it, Toby and I talked about it in the Obey game, that it was all about the little things. And these little things, they add up. And there was 2 more there that Challenger teams started to just show their waviness a little bit, show their issues.
Physics is going to get that drop shot that got put down and find one kill, but will be traded out. So if you're steady, you take that. Mush is going to find the kill on the Jack reaction as well, as Demonic finds one himself, but Regal Reserve bite back. He is going to go over towards steady, but those home hills not taken by anybody. Everybody's too invested in those mid drops coming in with that drop shot, of course. ENF going to go over towards steady though, and Mush is going to get caught out there, and unfortunately will go down. There should be a hold for Regal Reserve. Just trying to dodge the Boltox that were coming in. They will be the ones in control of this round from the get-go. D&E in their hands right now.
That's it, isn't it? Not looking too bad here for Regal. They're getting pressured so heavily though. You can see the steady lineup here. Just trying to find damage here. Cougars not going to go down just yet, but did take a lot of damage. He's in a good position actually to prevent this. You can see Regal, they've got a good setup here. One on that left-hand side there, just making sure no one's coming through the mid route. One down at that back box, just to absorb people as they come around the corner. And on the other side, you can see Physics and Zorkos, both of them looking at that ramp, just to make sure no one pushes down. Incendiary's going to come through, and that's probably going to be the catalyst to the next play here. You can see in this side of things, Regal, they have managed to get hold of their home hill once again. The push from Steady was strong, but in the end, Regal, they pushed back on it.
Steady have got the numbers, Ziddy,
Yeah, they had it, but they didn't do anything with it, right? And that's kind of what I was about to allude to, was you've got to make a play. You know, your home hill player has made a fantastic play in drawing so much attention back over to the D hill.
They've still got the numbers.
Make the play.
There they go. Flash is coming in. Flash going forward. They will get a hold of these incens, but they're running into Physics' Nasher, and Demonic and Steve will eventually find the kill here. Can they find any more? Cougars is there to answer back. And maybe the only one that does survive for Regal Reserve. He will back on down, and damage is done, but Steady. That play could have come in about 20 seconds ago. You had those numbers for quite some time. They haven't even managed to get a hold of E either. And that's unfortunate. Steady, we're in a good spot there, and Regal Reserve just push back when that drop is coming up. I would have liked to see that push coming in from Steady maybe a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it needed to be, didn't it? It needed to be early enough that they could get the reward, the hills, and then set back up to defend for this drop shot. But now Jack, with that drop shot, one shot left, looking perhaps at Mush opposite him on that high cover. Zorkos just underneath. Gotta be careful he doesn't shoot this short and hit Zorkos, but there goes the shot. Does he connect? No. Bit of damage down. Zorkos not going to follow that one up though, because they can see Steve's pushing on the left-hand side now. We do actually see a little bit of a push from Zorkos, but that's way too late. Puts his team in a 4v2 situation. Regal, they should back off. They should defend their home, but they're getting pushed on both fronts here.
Regal Reserve, that's going to be decapped as well. Domination about to tick in 3 seconds. You got to go, and you got to go now. Cougars is going to find the crucial down. Can he find anything else? He will find precision as well. Flash looking for the cleanup if he can. Tries to get the meat shield, can't get away. Will find the kill. Still D not to be captured by anybody yet. That would have been a massive kill from Flash. It is actually going to be Cougars who finds 2. He will go down to Mush, and Mush will be traded out by Fractures. Regal Reserve will hang on by the skin of their teeth, and they will win the map. 5-2. Just. Really good round in the end that coming in from Regal Reserve. They'll lock it in, but Steady will feel hard done by that. That could have been 4-3.
It could have been 4-3 the other way around, to be honest with you. It's one of those things where, realistically, did we see the best Steady? I don't think we did. I think there were some great moments there from Flash and from Mush, but I think they still have more in the tank. If they clean up a couple of those little mistakes at the end, they had 2 rounds there where they could have really put the pressure on Regal right at the end and maybe even stolen rounds. So for me, that's something to look forward to, in the next map. But Regal Reserve coming through, coming strong, winning that first map in the series. They're looking like a Pro League team.
Yeah, they're looking like a Pro League team a little bit more now, aren't they? It was very composed at times, and they just did what they needed to do. 5-2 is a very, very comfortable victory. But let's have a think of if they can come back into this one Steady. As I said, we've seen flashes. We're going to go over towards Exhibit as well, which is a little bit of a different map to Bunker.
Yep.
What are we thinking? Because I don't know. I just think that the way that Regal played that, it was. I mean, I was going to say it was nice and steady, but I mean, I didn't want to completely just ruin my casting career with doing that. But there we go. it was just nice and comfortable. In all honesty, they didn't really test them too much. They did on occasion, but it always felt like Regal Reserve were going to win. I never thought to myself, Steady should take this. It was a couple of rounds here and there, yeah, but it always felt comfortable for Regal.
Yeah. I think they were just more comfortable in the openers, to be honest with you. They were timing the weapons correctly as well in the kind of mid side of things, and they were closing it out well as well. Their defensive lineups were strong. They were rolling off and taking that secondary lineup as well pretty quickly. So I think the decision making as well, the speed of which is coming into a factor here, because we saw at the top. You mentioned it, Steady. They had 4v3 for maybe 30 seconds or so and just did nothing with it. And that for me is the that's
like
something you got to think about as well. Like there are a lot of just kind of little incremental gains that Regal are getting in a lot of different areas that are they're adding up to a lot of rounds here for them, and that's the difference between the two teams, really.
Yeah, I think so. When we've seen that 4v3 up top for so long and they just didn't do anything with it, Steady, unfortunately. And yeah, okay, that's not going to be the whole map decided by that moment, but it gives you an indication to maybe shots that would have been called if they were a higher level of play. Still, a couple of moments here and there of individual brilliance. I mean, Demonic has to be the standout. I think it was round number 3 where he went off for his team, where the Incense coming in, finds the other player with the Incend, and then finds a couple of kills all on his own to defend. But small little moments like that give them hope. There's still a chance for Steady to do something here. But overall, from that result, yes, okay, it was comfortable for Regal, but I said a couple of rounds could have went either way. For me, this whole day so far has sort of just said to me that the challenger side of things aren't as far behind as I would have thought. Yes, okay, it was a 5-2 win, but we've already seen Obey get pushed all the way down. We've already seen Regal Reserve lose a game to a challenger team. The challenger scene is not doing too badly, and honestly, we could definitely see some more upsets along the way. But we're nearly ready to get into map number 2 in just a second. I can see the teams are loaded in. We will be loading into Exhibit. I'm still going to go with my 2-0 prediction for Regal Reserve. Unfortunately, I think we will see Steady exit the tournament at this point. However, they definitely have it in the locker. As said, there's some individual moments coming up that can cause problems for teams. And if you're Regal Reserve, you have to be switched on.
Yeah, you really do have to be. I think for Steady, it's really unfortunate, actually. They've had 2 very, very difficult games in these first 2 rounds. I mean, Academy, they're probably the highest ranked challenger team in terms of the actual points. So that's a very, very strong game, and the players on that roster are so good. And then you come up against Regal. You don't expect to be against Regal in the first round of the loser bracket.
Yeah. I mean, that's what can happen in a double elimination, though. If a good team loses to somebody you didn't expect to, they probably would have been thinking they were going to be playing three times already. I mean, that is obviously more of an achievable game on paper. Of course, Regal Reserve lost to that team, so arguably, the team that deserves to be down here is Regal Reserve, absolutely. So they just have to make sure they turn up. To win the tournament, you've got to beat everybody anyway. So, you need to start somewhere. Start strong here against Regal Reserve, then having a very, very difficult game here, but then going into another one, you'll feel nice that you can beat Regal. And still not off the cards, has to be said. We said time and time again, Steady haven't been too far away here in a couple of rounds. That could have been a lot closer than it looked, but relatively comfortable for Regal. Can they close it out in 2? We're loading into Exhibit. I think this is done. I think it is going to be done in 2. Although, as we said, tight rounds.
Yeah. I honestly, I'd stick with my prediction as well. We can see it, on the screen here. Bunker 5-2. It was a pretty convincing win in terms of rounds, actually, for Regal. And as Exhibit, the only way really I see Steady kind of coming back into this one is if they can find kills off that opener and have really, really strong initials. Exhibit is a very easy map to hold. It's difficult to push down into. So you've really got to be strong on those initials. And, if Flash can start kicking off again, and maybe Demonic as well, there's a lot of room for Steady to take rounds here. And I think as well, there's a lot of room to kind of make moves. It's a very close quarter space, isn't it? The fast movers, your precisions, they're going to love it down there at that bottom side of things. They can make plays, but they've got to make sure they're getting down in those initials. They're not letting Regal set up.
Not letting them set up, and making sure you find these individual moments is going to be a really big catalyst for Steady to try and win this one. They'll be pushing from the Swarm side. Regal Reserve on the cog. Regal now trying to get their Pro League back on track, as said. Find themselves down in the loser bracket round number 1. It's not where you want to be if you're a Pro League team. And out of all the Pro League teams to drop on down, OB Alliance were the most likely. They just about squeezed on through, of course, to those winners semis, but Regal Reserve being down here is a surprise to many, but they will want to continue their tournament. But just have a little bit of a longer route now, don't they?
Yeah, it's a little bit longer, a couple of extra games here and there. I mean, what it does mean is they probably don't have to match up against Elevate or Rated R, you know, until tomorrow, probably evening. So that's a kind of added bonus, I guess. They don't get the opportunity to try and upset them, but what they do is that they have a nice, easy ramp up in terms of the skill of the opponents that they have to face until they come to, you know, those demigods in terms of Elevate and Rated R. And
yeah, I mean,
that's not a bad thing.
Their next game would have been against Elevate, who really have had their number in the Pro League at times, and you know, now the fact that it's in the losers bracket, you maybe get a couple more games under your belt. Of course, next up in the losers bracket, I think they'll play one of the losers of one of the semi-finals, so maybe they'll have an easier route. Who knows? Zorkos is going to try and find a kill on the Flash, does so, and finds one at Steet as well. Really nicely done if you're Zorkos. Regal Reserve in control, 50 seconds for that win condition. All teams are being battling it out here in the middle of the map, but Regal Reserve ultimately on top in a few different ways. Jack Reaction now pushing for the domination here as well. The kill starting to rain on through. There is going to be somebody here for Steady to try and find the Flash. You are kidding me. How the hell has he found two? Surely he doesn't find anything else. Jack Reaction has surely got to deal with him, does so. Flash might have postponed it enough for the rest of his team to come off the respawn though, and they will push on through. That domination isn't going to tick through just yet, although saying that Regal Reserve may eventually get it, but good God. Flash might have just kept his team in this round. It will be done eventually.
Yep.
Holy hell, though. That was insane. How did he manage to get through 3 of them? Kill 2.
I told you, he lives up to his name time to time, but I know, you know, equally good play, though, by Reaction there to keep his team in it. You can see 5-2 and 0 opening round. He's one of those players we've kind of watched him come into the Pro League scene. Yeah, he had a bit of a shaky start. Not a terrible start by any means. I'd say an average start.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, solid start, but not flashy. But as time's gone on, he's looked better and better within this Regal team, and I think Regal as a unit are starting to kind of figure each other out now, aren't they? They're starting to play a little bit better together, and all players are, you know, stepping up to the mark a little bit. And that play by Jack there was kind of evidence of that, keeping himself alive, enough time for his team to come in and support him, getting that meat shield, playing it safe. I like what I see there.
Regal now looking to extend this lead if they can. Where's this fight going to go? Cougars just in the middle of a midst of swarm, if anything. Eventually is going to be dropped, and that fight is going to be won by Steady. Cougars and Zorkos are dealt with. Jack Reaction in a bad spot is just about going to get away. Fractures are going to down him, so that's not going to help that fight as Physics goes down too. And Jack and Fractures are going to have to back on down. A couple of fights lost there by Regal, and they'll just have to walk away licking their wounds. Steadied up, unable to set up here on B, which they never really got control of at all in that previous round. So let's see what they can do with some control on Exhibit.
So that's the aim of the game down here. Don't let anyone come down those corridors. Find the kills. Cougars falls as well. You can see Fracture's getting headshot as well. When it does trade out, things still in a good situation here for Steady. They've got Regal right back out here. Almost in the no man's land, but Mush behind them. How's he got here? I have no idea.
I mean,
I have no idea how Mush is there, to be honest with you.
He's dead.
Don't know. He's going to get taken out for it because it was a terrible position to be in. And his team now probably going to lose this B hill.
Yeah.
As part of it. Yeah, it's good Lancer fire here from Regal, taking out Steet. 3v2 now.
Yeah, there's 2 members of Steady in here, though. Let's see if they can find anything. Precision is going to find the down at the Fractures. He will be picked back up. The revive chain's maybe going to have to come in. His Fractures just drop once more. Zorkos and Cup, do you have the numbers? Fractures is going to be dealt with, actually, and they're just going to back on down. Well held. It's 2v3. They're making it 2v2, and Regal don't want anything to do with it. They back on down. Plenty of pressure coming in from the other side of things, and if you're Regal, you really have to go in the middle of the map as pressure coming in from all angles. Physics is going to find a kill on the Flash, though. Precision is here to try and defend on his own as the rest of the team do Lancer over the top of him. They're back in now, and that too, that defended initially. Precision and Flash have done their job, but can the rest of the team come back in and try and hold this if they can? Physics and Fractures, though, do combine. But he's going in the favor of Regal Reserve, but that swarm win condition, that's going to stay.
Yeah. I was going to say, the real question is what's going on at the COG home spill, because that was getting decapped, and you see again, getting decapped here. Zorkos is going to fall. The pressure really is on. They're fighting in the spawn of Regal Reserve right now. Mush will fall, but Demonic gets a kill on Jack. The C heal will go the way of Regal Reserve in the end, but You know, they're not doing bad here. They're giving themselves time to set up, and if they can find this 3v2 situation against Physics and Co, might be in a good situation here before Regal could put all of their numbers in. Yep, Physics going to go down. That's a kill coming in. Cougars falls as well to Stee, and this is very, very good if you're steady.
Easily done in the end. They hold off a big through the middle of the round and then find a couple of kills and make their way through. The overextension comes through and just playing the map very, very well. This is their pick. That's a good round out of them. Flash picking up 9 kills, 4 assists in 2 rounds as well. Is nothing to look away from, in all honesty. He has been very, very good. Incense going to come in on the side of Steady. Regal Reserve looking to choose something different, setting up for something else further down the line.
Yes, it's all about building into things and escalation. It's the name of the game. Being tricky with those placements as well is always something we like to see. Those mid drops, great. Those snipers, those M bars going down on the sides. Each team even better.
Let's see them. Seems to be whoever gets a hold of B first wins the round. Cougars now. That Incend may have not landed, but the damage going down is not going to be enough to tick on through. He's going to back up and then put some shots in. Find Mush too. That was a bad situation for Regal. To be and Steady have really banked on that Incend hitting, in all honesty, and overextend into B. They get taken down. Now Flash has to back down himself. He'll do well to get out of this, in all honesty. Not even him can pick up any kills there. Fractures and Cougars combine, and what a really, really good start to the round for Regal Reserve. Fractures is going to get wiped out by Mush, but Cougars will answer back. The pressure still being put on here, but eventually Regal will back down.
That's it. They have to back down. They can't give up too many lives here. See them in a bit of a bad spot, stuck in the corner. Zorkos will get himself out in the end. Position. Now on the bridge. Trying to force plays up there. And, you know, we don't see much action on the bridge, but every now and again, they have to, you know, they have to threaten maybe a 2v1 or a 3v1 up there just to keep the opposition top player on their toes. You saw Jack backing down there, making sure no one was coming through. And I like the idea of having Jack up there. He's a strong player, good decision maker, knows what fights to take. And I think that's a decent position. You can see him getting that down up there as well. Demonic's going to fall. Flash taking a little bit of damage.
Just creates a little bit of, it just creates a little bit of pressure if he can find that kill up top as well. The down comes in. If you can find the kill, you can then push further, and suddenly, if you're steady, you don't know which way Regal Reserve are pushing, but right now Regal Reserve are just winning most fights. Zorkos finding a couple. And that's going to come in on the bottom side of things. Flash is going to get dropped as well. Cougar's going to leave him to bleed out, knows nobody's there. Waste some more time. And now suddenly, Steady just seemed to be crumbling. All the kills coming on through for Regal Reserve. The domination will tick in. It's as simple as a round as you'd like to see from Regal. Not necessarily those big 5 kills at the beginning, but they just play with Steady across the map. A couple of members of Steady down on respawns. Mush and Steve down to 2 as we head into the final round of the half. But Regal Reserve, very, very much a controlled round there.
Yep, I don't think they've got too much to worry about on the life front just yet. But if we are in the situation in, you know, another 4 or 5 rounds in the second half, then we should really start to worry a bit. Because, you know, Regal, they're a slow team. They don't really get many kills. Like, you know, in comparison to a lot of other teams, they kind of strangle you out of the game, right? They will play slowly. They'll make sure they take 1 kill here and there. And that 1 kill is, you know, it's the perfect kill for them. Because it will open up, you know, a 60-point play or something like that. Or, you know, domination route. You don't really see them taking their opponents down into 0 life territory, but as I say that, Cougars comes in. Fantastic, fantastic Incendiary.
You've jinxed it now. Look at all those kills coming in. Stee and Demonic, the only 2 left. Mush is going to come back with 1 respawn, or 2 I should say. Oh no, he is going to come back 1. Just, no, dating time, it's caught me off guard. Now we got Regal Reserve 2-1 up, and they're very much in control of this round. A really good start from them, but they're very much one of those teams that you're very, very right. They don't want to go a step further if it's not needed. Like, it's very much of the even if it's like a 10% doubt, they won't go further. That's their mantra, and honestly, it works out for them at times.
Well, this is why, look.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're still pushing onwards, though. We do say that maybe Steady are a team they are not taking too lightly, but are quite happy to be aggressive against. Regal, though, CMP in their hands, continuing to push here for it.
Very, very good lance of fire to start off this play by Regal. And They do get a couple of kills traded in here. Jack's going to fall, as is Stee. But Regal still with control of that B hill. We'll find another kill there on Flash, and Flash being caught out a couple of too many times for my liking. His aggressive playstyle being used against him. Very, very easy to bait him into those up A kind of slides. They knew he was going to come for that. He didn't know there was another player waiting for him. Now, Zorkos picking up another kills. Will go down himself. His mate Physics, though, here to save the day. We'll find that revive. We'll find those kills on Demonic and Precision, and they will fall now. Steady in a pretty bad spot here. 70 points behind. No control over the map whatsoever. Kills in the favor here. Fracture's moving up here very, very slowly, but just get that kill in the end. Stee, just not the races.
For all that we've said that Regal Reserve don't like to be aggressive, they've just contained Steady here, haven't they? Haven't let them out their spawn whatsoever. This should be around to Regal Reserve, barring an absolute miracle. A lot of players dropping from Steady as well. 15 seconds to tick on through. It may well be the domination coming in. Mush and Flash dead and buried, as is Stee. Precision not too far from going down there as well, with the rest of his team trying to do something here, but maybe just looking. The stat party's going to get taken down as well. Wow, that is dominant from Regal Reserve. Just to let you guys know, across the board, Hype lost their game against Mount Olympus. They will be knocked out of the tournament. That was a 2-0. Gridiron won their game as well against the Last Italians, 2-0.
Hold up, Hype won their game.
Hype won their game, yes.
Yeah. They beat Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Gridiron won that game as well. So they're sitting in losers bracket round number 2, where they will play one of these two teams. Not 100% sure who slots into where, but either way, you know, it's more losers bracket games coming in, and we will keep an eye on what's going on there. But okay, so the winner of this game will go on to play Hype. Sorry, so yeah, that's something to know. Regal Reserve looking to be meeting Hype in losers bracket round number 2. Plenty more games to come today, though.
Hype, one of those teams that they snuck into the major, didn't they? At the end of things, they weren't even supposed to be playing, and with a day's notice, they managed to fill a slot and come through. And they've won 2 series. There's 2-0 now already. They had a tough game against Elevate, but apart from that, looking at a strong team.
Yeah, let's see what they can do.
In Crisis. Yeah, they look very, very good.
Regal Reserve now, though, looking to extend their lead here. Physics not going to be bothered too much by that Incend, and should be able to get a hold of B here. Or E, sorry. As it obviously has changed at the half. Just to confuse me. Of course, none of the points move here. On Exhibit, everything stays the same. There's no way to put them through. There's one midpoint, that's it. Put it up top. Causing absolute ruckus for the lasers. That'll be a laugh, wouldn't it? Demonic's going to overextend now. Over towards D. Like this from him. He's been playing up top for the most of this game. That's why we haven't seen much from him. It's an important role to play. However, if you have certain players who have really been influencing the game, you'd like to see them down lower now. He's going to try and defend this as well. Steenko now going to be able to make this push over towards E. Keep an eye on the bottom left corner, which way that fight goes over towards that home hill. If it's Demonic, well, it's not going to be. Jack finds him rather easily. He will get his home hill back, but they will lose E because of that overextension. I do like that from Steady. I said it's about placing your resources, catch people off guard on their home hill. They have to drop back. Then suddenly, you can make a push towards that mid hill. Nicely done. 73 seconds for their win condition. Yeah,
a while off yet, a minute or so, but they can find this next kill, and that's what it's about, chaining kills. They'll be in a good spot here, but Regal, they're already back in the E hill. Cougar's dancing in front of them. Will get taken down in the end. Will lose his life for it. Nope. The revive comes in. Jack finds Mush as well. And this, from what looked to be a very, very strong, steady setup, Regal just broke it down in an instant.
And that can't happen. You've set up very, very nicely. You've done all the hard work to get here, and you lose a flurry of kills. You lose more kills, and an elimination ticks through. Regal Reserve 4-1 now. Walking away with this one, we did think it would be relatively comfortable. Steady have offered glimmers, but only that. 4-1 now here through. Very, very solid victory. Lining up for Regal Reserve. Can find one more. It's a good start to their losers bracket run if they can get this done comfortably.
That's it, isn't it? I think it is pretty cool. I'd like to have a look at the scoreboard as well in just a second, as well as I think the kills and the assists that are coming in for Regal Reserve, they're just too heavy. You can see the team fire for Regal just being so strong. They're always firing for one another. The moment that they get an opportunity to put a little bit of damage in someone, they're doing so. And these pistols coming in, there's 2 Boltox as well there, just adding to the the lethality coming out of these starting loadouts for these teams. It's all about supporting your team. Cougar's a little bit late off the spawn there. But in the end, yeah, they're just getting the damage. They're finding the damage. You see here, Physics, he's got 13 kills, but he's got 15 assists as well.
Damage being put down by him. That's all he needs to do. Sit back, Lancer for your team. Him and Jack play maybe a little bit slower while the rest of the Lunatics push forward. Zorkos, Fractures, and Cougars like to get aggressive. Physics happy to do his damage. Having a good game here. Flash is going out, getting a hold of it, doing the dirty work for his team. 6 caps and 2 breaks to his name as well. Demonic is going to find the counter Jack reaction. Hasn't really had much luck against Jack, has to be said. And it's this overextension coming in from him again, but Zorkos can do what his teammate could not. He's going to find that kill rather easily. Physics is going to go down in the middle though. Fracture's trying to answer back, and he finds 2 here as well. The revive's going to come through. Can he find the cleanup? Not quite, but he will force them away. Very, very red are steady. They will have to back down. Fractures chooses to continue forward in true Fractures fashion. He will eventually go down, and maybe Steady can take advantage of this here.
Yeah, tell you who can. Cougars, great headshot coming in, just hiding on the corner of the hollows there. Let's find some damage down. Good shot there by Flash, though, in response. What was that I heard? Was that the Talon pistol? It is indeed. Zorkos has brought out the Talon pistol. That's one we don't usually see in competitive. I'll give you that. That might be a little bit of a troll pick, but let's jump on board. This is a weapon that, when used perfectly, can down you in half a second. It's ridiculously fast. It's so strong, but it kicks like a mule. If you can control it, though, and it looks like Zorkos is very, very good at controlling that recoil, it can be so useful as part of that loadout.
Never heard you as excited, by the way. Never heard you as excited.
It's just one of those weapons. We don't see it. It's like the Enforcer or the Overkill. You never see it, but when it comes through, it's fun to watch, isn't it? It's a different one.
Something a bit different to the Bulltongue. Maybe these close quarters, you know. Zorkos wants a little SMG, if you like. Not necessarily a bad weapon to have in the corridors of Exhibit, but here we go. Steady now. Need to make a push within the next 30. Demonic and Co. Trying to go for that overextension, but the kills starting to rain through once again. Regal Reserve 40 seconds away. They may just shorten that quite quickly. Precision and Co, though, need to get something done here. Fractures finding Cougars is not necessarily what you want to see if you're a Regal Reserve fan, but they will get a hold of their home hill. They will get a hold of E. If you're Steady, you need to absolutely fly towards the other side of the map. Steve now trying to get something done. Honestly, I don't think they're going to be in a position to do this. Zorkos is going to find Precision. Have a look at F. Is there going to be anybody there from Steady? Win condition is 5-4, 3-2-1 for Regal Reserve. They will take this one 2-0 and will start their losers bracket run with a win. Steady, however, will drop out of the tournament. And for them, 2 very, very tough games in fairness against 2 very, very good teams. But Regal Reserve have to get the job done here. They will get it done. 5-2, 5-1. Good games out of Regal Reserve. And as I said, that's what they needed. Didn't want that bad start to really linger around the team, and it seems as if it didn't there through.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't at all. I honestly do think Regal, they're a composed team. Even at the worst of times, composure is definitely part of their repertoire. And I think against Steady, they knew they should win it on paper. They've come through. They've shown us, they win it actually in practicality as well. 5-2, 5-1 is a very, very strong scoreline. Against one of the stronger teams, the stronger challenger teams coming up. And, they punched their way through to a game against Hype, which is, for me, a bit of an unknown. Hype, they're an unknown team. They've been performing well. They've beat 2 challenger teams already, in Gridiron and in Mountain Olympus, 2-0. Hype's going to be an interesting game as well for Regal. They'll have to figure that one out as they get to it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just one of those, just take them as they come. If you're a Regal Reserve now, you're going to have plenty of games coming up. But they will advance through to losers bracket round number 2, so we'll keep an eye on where Regal Reserve are going. I do believe we're going to winners bracket side of things next, but for Regal, that it's just so important that you do bounce back after that surprise loss, even though it's against a team we knew could cause some problems. But it was an important win for them, and especially do it convincingly. I think if you have a very close game in that sort of scenario, it can maybe, that negativity can brew a little bit more, can't it? Especially if you get knocked out in the losers bracket, just about to scrape through the first round. A comfortable, nice win for them will get their confidence back up and flowing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need. It's a tough loss against Rowdy. You got to be honest.
Yeah.
None of the Pro League teams would have wanted to have lost to a challenger team.
No.
They would have all wanted to punch their way to that top 4 flawlessly. and then they can fight it out as those top 4 teams. But you know, the challenger teams, they don't want that to happen, do they? They want to cause these upsets, and they're coming in with a drive, not just for you know for the money and for the placements, but to prove their worth. You know, as a player, as a team, to prove that they are worthy of the stream time that they get, of a chance up in that pro league. And for Regal, you've got to keep batting them away left, right, and center, haven't you?
Yeah. You got to keep batting them away, but let's have a look at what Regal's route looks like with the lower side of the bracket. They're going to go through, as said, and play Hype. Then we'll play a team who are going to drop down from the semi-finals. Gridiron, of course, as said, did beat the last Italian, and we'll go through and they will await the winner of Team Sick and Academy Reunited. That's a tough game to call, that one, isn't it? Team Sick 1-0 up in that one. Yeah, I know. Academy obviously very, very close to beating Obey. Now they find themselves down in that game. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in that one. We'll have a look if we can. But it's one of those where if you're Team Sick, that's a tough one to take. Oh, Team Sick, there you go. 2-0 will win that one. Academy Reunited drop out. 1 round away from beating Obey, and now suddenly you're out the tournament. That's
insane,
tough.
isn't it? you go from top 6 almost, 1 round from top 6 to being 12th.
They got beat 5-2, 5-4.
Oh. But we mentioned it. Team Sick, they're a strong team.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised to see them go through against Gridiron, to be honest with you. That should be another win for Team Sick. And you know, if everything pans out as it probably should do, Elevate are against Team Rowdy right now. Team Rowdy, 3 times Rowdy right now. The loser of that game will go down to face the winner of Team Sick versus Gridiron. So they might get that rematch. Team Sick might rematch against Rowdy and might be able to put them in the spot this time.
Well, the way that Rowdy and that have been playing, though, I just don't know. But it has to be said, a lot of good teams playing in this tournament. Don't go anywhere, though. We've got winners bracket action coming up after this short break.